Welcome back to our YouTube channel, Buddhism and Life. Today, we will explore an interesting and mysterious story about the hidden power of silence, 5 secrets you must protect. Let's dive into the story together. In a world filled with noise, where every thought is spoken, and every action is displayed, the ancient wisdom of Buddhism whispers a different truth. Some things are meant to be kept in silence. Imagine standing before a still pond, untouched by the wind. The reflection is clear, unshaken. But what happens when a single pebble is thrown? The ripples spread, distorting everything in their path. Our thoughts, our words, and even the truths we share work the same way. Some bring peace, while others invite chaos. What if I told you that by simply guarding 5 sacred aspects of your life, you could unlock a deeper sense of peace, wisdom, and balance? The Buddha taught that true strength lies not in what we express, but in what we choose to hold within. Tonight, as you listen, ask yourself, what have I unknowingly given away? What energy have I invited into my life by sharing too much? Prepare to uncover the unseen forces shaping your reality. Let's begin. 1. Your inner peace. Inner peace is not something we obtain from the external world. It is cultivated from within. But have you ever noticed how easily it can be disturbed? A single argument, a harsh comment, or an unkind word can shake our sense of balance. Why does this happen? Buddhism teaches us that true peace comes from detachment from external expectations, unnecessary drama, and the emotions that others impose upon us. The hidden currents of emotion. Imagine standing at the edge of a tranquil lake, its surface smooth like polished glass. A single pebble tossed into the water creates ripples, disturbing the stillness. Each harsh word or unkind action is like a pebble, sending waves across the calm surface of our mind. If we are not careful, these ripples grow into raging waves, disrupting our inner serenity. To maintain peace, we must learn to observe these ripples without being consumed by them. The lake does not resist the pebble, it simply absorbs and returns to stillness. Likewise, we should allow disturbances to pass without letting them define our state of mind. Story: The Monk and the Storm. A wise monk lived in a monastery on a peaceful mountain, surrounded by towering pine trees and flowing streams. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a traveler arrived at the monastery. His face twisted with frustration. His words were sharp, like daggers thrown in anger. He ridiculed the monk's way of living, belittled his teachings, and tried to provoke a reaction. Yet, the monk simply smiled and remained silent, like a mountain unmoved by the howling wind. The traveler's anger intensified. Finally, he shouted, "Why don't you respond? Are you not offended?" The monk gently replied, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to take it, to whom does it belong?" The traveler, puzzled, answered, "To the giver." The monk nodded, "Exactly. If I do not accept your anger, it remains with you." The illusion of control. Many of us believe that by reacting, by arguing, or by justifying ourselves, we regain control. But in truth, peace is found in letting go. The moment we engage in conflict fueled by ego, we become prisoners of the emotions we are trying to escape. Instead, consider each provocation as a test. Will you let your inner waters be stirred, or will you remain calm and clear? Detachment does not mean indifference. It means choosing which battles are worth fighting and which should be released into the wind like scattered leaves. The sacred temple within. Guard your peace as if it were a sacred temple. Imagine a golden sanctuary, hidden within you, where no words of anger or jealousy can enter unless you open the doors yourself. This temple is your mind, your spirit, your sanctuary. The world will always whisper temptations of conflict. There will always be voices calling for you to react, to defend, to argue. But wisdom is in knowing that silence is not weakness, it is power. Lesson: protect your inner peace like a treasure buried deep within a mountain. Let no storm shake the foundation of your spirit. Choose your battles wisely, and embrace detachment from unnecessary negativity. 2. Your negative thoughts. The Buddha once said, "Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts." Our minds are like ancient forests, deep and vast, filled with both light and shadow. If we nurture the towering trees of wisdom and kindness, they grow strong, their roots sinking deep into the earth. But if we allow the vines of negativity to spread unchecked, they twist and strangle. choking the life from within. The whispering shadows. Have you ever found yourself caught in a storm of your own thoughts? A single doubt, like a flickering candle in the wind, can be extinguished or can ignite a wildfire of worry. The whispers of insecurity, regret, and anger are like ghosts in the mist, drifting through the corridors of our minds, seeking to take root. Each time we voice negativity, it gains power. Words carry weight, spoken or unspoken. A single complaint, a single harsh word, is like a stone thrown into a well. It plunges into the depths, sending ripples far beyond what we can see. Example: the power of words. A man once came to the Buddha, his face twisted with anger, his words sharp as blades. He hurled accusations, his voice rising like a storm over the sea. But the Buddha remained still, his expression unmoved. Finally, the man paused, exhausted from his own rage. The Buddha looked at him and said, "Your words are like arrows, but they will only hurt if I allow them to." The man stared in confusion. In that moment, he understood, his anger was his own burden to carry, and the Buddha had refused to take it upon himself. The poisoned chalice. Negative thoughts are like a poisoned chalice. To drink from it is to fill oneself with suffering. Yet many of us lift it to our lips daily. We sip from doubt, from jealousy, from resentment, allowing the venom to seep into our spirits. But we must ask ourselves, does this thought bring peace or suffering? Will my words uplift or harm? The path of right speech. Buddhism teaches right speech, a path paved with mindfulness and intention. The words we speak shape our reality, just as a sculptor's hands mold clay into form. To speak carelessly is to carve jagged edges into our own existence. Before you let a thought escape your lips, pause. Imagine it as a feather in the wind, once released. It cannot be retrieved. Choose instead to cultivate words that heal, that uplift, that nurture the garden of the mind rather than let weeds of destruction take root. Lesson: the greatest battles are not fought with swords, but within the mind. Choose your words as a master swordsman chooses his blade, with precision, purpose, and restraint. Silence, when chosen with wisdom, is not emptiness but the presence of strength. 3. Your personal vulnerabilities. To reveal one's deepest fears is to hand another person the key to one's soul. Some will hold that key with care, others will twist it, turning secrets into weapons. The masked smiles. Not all smiles conceal kindness. Some are mere illusions, masks worn by those who see weakness as an opportunity. The world is filled with wandering spirits, some seeking connection, others seeking advantage. Story: the betrayed disciple. A young monk, believing in the purity of friendship, confided his deepest insecurities to a fellow disciple. For a time, the bond seemed unbreakable, but as the seasons change, so did their connection. The once trusted friend turned these secrets into whispers in the night, spreading them like seeds in the wind. Heartbroken, the young monk sought his teacher's wisdom. "How do I know who to trust?" His teacher sighed. "Trust is like a delicate thread. Once broken, it is difficult to mend." Lesson: secrets are sacred. Choose your confidence as a falcon chooses its perch, only where it is safe to land. Not all who listen wish you well. 4. Your future plans. The Buddha taught that attachment to the future leads to suffering. When we speak too much about our goals, we invite expectations, not just from ourselves but from others. This creates unnecessary pressure and even negative energy from those who may not wish us success. The silent currents of destiny. Imagine a river winding through an ancient forest. Its waters deep and mysterious. The river does not announce its course, it simply flows, carving through stone and earth, unbothered by the gaze of onlookers. Yet, when a great storm comes, the river that remains silent and steady will continue on its path, while the one that boasts of its strength may overflow and be lost. Our plans are like this river. When we share them too openly, we invite the winds of doubt, jealousy, and expectation. Some will cheer for us, but others will secretly hope to see us fail. Every word spoken about our future sends ripples into the unseen world. Some return as blessings, while others return as burdens. Example: the silent achiever. In a distant village, a farmer discovered a rare seed, a gift from the elders who spoke of its immense value. This seed, if nurtured patiently, would grow into a tree bearing fruit so abundant that it could feed generations. but it required years of silent care, protected from the elements and unseen hands. Instead of boasting about his future harvest, the farmer quietly tilled his land, watered his seed, and waited. Meanwhile, his neighbor, eager for admiration, spoke often of his own plans. He made grand promises, telling all who would listen that his crops would be the finest in the land. Seasons passed. The boasting farmer's fields lay barren, for his efforts were spent on words rather than actions. But the silent farmer's patience bore fruit. His tree stood tall, laden with golden bounty. When the villagers asked, "Why didn't you tell us about this before?" he simply smiled and said, "A tree does not announce its growth, it simply stands tall." The burden of expectations. Words are like spells, once spoken. They weave unseen threads into our fate. Each time we proclaim our ambitions, we create invisible chains that bind us to expectation. What if we change our path? What if we fail? What if the very people we confide in become obstacles instead of allies? Many share their dreams in the hopes of gaining support, but premature words can invite doubt and even silent envy. The world listens, and not all ears are kind. Some who appear as friends are merely shadows, lingering to see if the light of your success will flicker or burn brightly. The strength of the hidden path. There is wisdom in moving through life as the silent river, as the hidden seed buried beneath the earth, growing in unseen strength. Let your actions be your voice, your discipline be your proclamation. When success comes, let it arrive as a revelation, not an expectation. Lesson. Move in silence. Let your work speak for you. Success is most powerful when it arrives unexpectedly, like a thunderclap in a quiet sky. 5. The silent acts of kindness. In the dim glow of oil lamps inside ancient temples, where sacred Buddha statues sit in meditative serenity, people come to offer their devotion. But not all who come have pure intentions. Some seek peace, some pray for blessings, and others seek to display their generosity. On the moss-covered stone walls of a secluded temple deep within the forest, names were carved, names of the wealthy who donated gold and silver, hoping to be remembered for eternity. They walked among the crowd, receiving admiration and praise, their deeds acknowledged like a trophy. Yet among them, a small, unnoticed figure moved in silence. No name, no applause, just a quiet presence that came and left unseen. Story. The invisible gift. At an ancient temple, a wealthy man entered, followed by a procession of attendants. His silk robes shimmered under the candlelight, and his embroidered shoes carried no dust from the temple's earthen path. In his hands was a heavy pouch filled with gold coins. With a proud voice, he handed the gold to the temple's head monk and made a request. "Engrave my name on the walls so that future generations may remember my kindness." The monk nodded but showed no sign of awe. At that moment, an elderly woman, frail and dressed in tattered clothes, stepped in. Her hands, weathered by time, held a single coin, her last possession. She said nothing, simply placed the coin into the donation box, bowed her head, and disappeared into the night. The head monk watched her leave, then turned to the wealthy man and said, "The single coin that old woman gave is worth more than your entire bag of gold." The man was outraged. "How can that be? I have given a fortune, and she only gave a mere coin." The monk smiled, his gaze as still as a lake untouched by the wind. "You gave what was surplus to you, but she gave everything she had." The wealthy man fell silent. For the first time in his life, he realized that his generosity was but a shadow compared to the old woman's sacrifice. A profound lesson. We often believe that kindness must be witnessed, acknowledged, and praised to have value. But in reality, the purest acts of kindness are those done in silence, like morning dew resting on leaves before disappearing at sunrise. True kindness does not seek recognition. It exists, it spreads, and it plants the seeds of goodness without expecting anything in return. There is an old saying, "Do good without seeking reward, for the universe always finds a way to return what is deserved." Have you ever helped someone without leaving a trace? A moment when you assisted an elderly person across the street, a few words of encouragement given at the right time, or a smile offered to someone drowning in exhaustion. These small acts go unnoticed. No names are carved in stone, but they plant a seed of goodwill in the universe. So when you do good, do not seek recognition, simply give. And let your kindness ripple through the world like sunlight, warming those who need it without demanding gratitude in return. The winds have carried countless whispers through time, but the wisest sages knew, not all words are meant to be spoken. And not all truths are meant to be shared. Perhaps, silence is not emptiness but power. Perhaps, in guarding our thoughts, our dreams, and our kindness, we hold something greater than mere words. We hold control over our own peace. But what do you think? Have you ever regretted sharing something too soon? Or perhaps you've experienced the unseen power of quiet wisdom? Let me know in the comments below. Does silence protect us, or does it keep us caged? Let's continue the journey of discovery together. Thank you so much for watching our video until the end. Please give us a like, share, and comment to motivate us to create more new videos with exciting and interesting stories. Wishing you a wonderful day. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.